Has anyone ever taken a good, long, serious look at this map here and taken the time to think about what's going on here? Now, I don't know where you may be on this map, but I would venture a guess that wherever you may be, let's say Egypt, they probably told you that the red stands for this and that, the white signifies so and so, and black is blah blah blah, right? And I'm sure some of that is true. And then one other thing that they've always told us is that this red, white, and blue hates this red, white, and blue. Huh, really? If that's the case, then how do you explain this one? You have King George on the left and Tsar Nicholas II on the right, or is it the other way around? Does it matter? Hey, who knows? Maybe they switched places here and there and when convenient, and probably weren't the only ones. There's some blue, definitely white. There's some red, white, and blue. There it goes again. And the other guy, well, he's part of the same club, just the same. Seriously though, what is going on here? Right? I mean, clearly you got the red, white, and blue all up over here, and you could kind of explain why that is, right? The Commonwealth. But what about Greenland? Iceland? All these Nordic countries, right? I know Ireland's not really on the team. They got some issues going on over there, right? But like, was there some kind of international convention that said these are the 5 colors you could use on your flag and don't you dare try to do otherwise? Okay, maybe 7, right? Where's pink? Come on now. Why are there only really 2 shades of green, right? I keep doing this. There are maybe 2, 3 shades of blue. Like, what? Do these people meet up and just decide what's acceptable and what isn't? And there's really only 1 shade of yellow. That's weird. And then when you zoom in, right, I mean, obviously you got the red, white, and blue. And then you got the red and white. And then some blue, but then slowly there's more green added, right? Then the yellow comes in. And there's more yellow, and then the yellow and the green, less blue though, jumps over across to Africa, right? And then some black is added, and these adjacent countries have it. But no matter where you look, there's blood everywhere, right? You got the red, white, and blue over here again. Red, white, some blue, red, white, and blue. Why does Kazakhstan and Mongolia, why do they have this weird other shade of blue that they also share with Argentina? What the hell? And some of these, what is it, Nicaragua? Some of these other countries, right? Why is the green all in Africa and a little bit in adjacent India, a tiny bit into Europe, and then across the ocean into Brazil, mostly? Why? How come there's no green here? How come there's no, I don't know. You tell me. Why are we so limited to only this many colors? And why are there these kind of obvious and hard to ignore patterns, right? Africans got together and said, we're gonna use green in our flags, right? The people voted. The people decided. Anyway, something to think about. And whatever they tell you in school is no doubt a lie. In my humble opinion, this has to do with various spheres of influence and jurisdictions, basically. Um, Different kinds of laws that apply slightly differently in different places, right? So, I don't know. You tell me what's going on. Excuse me. So my dog ran away the other day. They have been shooting fireworks over here for 9 days or so, and she finally had enough of it and ran away, all fearful. I went looking for her, asking around, and people would say, yeah, we saw her over here yesterday and she went that way. So I went that way, and over there I asked some more people, and some of them did see her and they said she went that way. So I followed her trail till I finally got to this little house kind of off the beaten path, and I asked this lady if she saw a dog, and then she described my dog, and I said, yeah, that one. Where is she? So she was describing the dog a little bit more. I was like, yeah, 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 yeah. Where is she? Then she says, oh, that's your dog? Yes. Where is she? Oh, I ate her. She thought she was being funny, but my answer to that wasn't very nice. Then in the background, I heard her husband, I presume, yelling and screaming at her. And then she told me, oh, I'm just joking around. My sister over there has her. And then she points in some general direction over there. Imagine me freaking the hell out thinking, well, because it is something that does happen here. Some people sometimes eat dogs, especially uh, nice and chunky ones like our American Staffordshire bitch. So there I went in that general direction, huffing and puffing, thinking to myself, damn, they're about to eat my dog, aren't they? Freaked the fuck out. Some dark human this lady had, but that's really neither here nor there. I found the dog. She was tied up in these people's backyard, and you know, she seemed pretty happy. She seemed pretty chill. Um, she saw me and you know reacted pleasantly and happy to see me seemingly, but for some reason didn't want to come back here anyway, even though she did follow me home just fine. But at the same time, she was, she's a very nice dog. She likes people. Well, she loves people, especially if you start talking to her like as if you were talking to a baby. She'll jump all over you, lick your face, right? Doesn't matter who you are. So, and even as we were coming back home, we ran into some people that I asked on my way um, looking for her. I asked about her, and then, so they recognized me. They saw the dog and said, "Oh, you found her? How nice!" And goo goo gaga, so on and so forth. So as soon as she heard that, she ran up to them and started jumping all over them, wagging her tail, licking faces, blah blah blah, right? And throughout this whole ordeal, I was thinking to myself, does my dog not like me? Now, I know she was scared by the fireworks and so she left, but I was just thinking to myself, like, or does she like me just because she likes everybody and this is just convenient for her to be here, and then when it isn't, it isn't? Now, our other two dogs are very loyal and they go off, they disappear for a little bit, not that long, and they come back, but not Ginger. She's a little different. She doesn't seem very loyal at all. It's just, you know, she's more of an opportunist, and uh, she seems to be able to coexist with anybody anywhere, right? Even the people that want to eat her, potentially. So it got me thinking about the way some of us act. How some of us stay put in certain places no matter what. And some of us like to go and explore and, leave friends, families, hometowns behind and find, establish, create new ones, new friends, new families, new hometowns. I wasn't born here, but when people ask me where I'm from, I say here. Because for whatever reason, maybe it was the way my mother was, just always traveling, always going places, always wanting to see the world. Even to this day, that's her MO. So that's always kind of been me. I appreciate the places that I live and the people that are there, but as soon as I stop appreciating them or I'm not getting that which I want, I go somewhere else. But in all of these places, there are people that were born in those same places, and that's where they will die. Now, I suppose we always did that throughout our existence on this rock here. But at the same time, I think it's these borders and walls and public education, school system, certain ideologies that have kept us less mobile than ever before. Now, look, we have, it would seem, it's what they tell us. If you want to believe that, I don't necessarily, but let's say in the last couple 100 years, we've developed, created, invented more ways to travel the globe than ever before, right? Seemingly, we have more of an opportunity to be anywhere we want to be, right? Because planes, boats, cars, trains, so on and so forth, right? Balloons. And yet, I would venture a guess that people are actually less mobile than maybe, I don't know, 1,000, 2,000. I don't believe any of these official timelines, but in not so distant past, it would seem that we traveled a lot more. Even if maybe we weren't as able to cross oceans, and I think we were. Okay. But even if we didn't have the same capabilities to go places, travel, right, because of all these various inventions, on average, I would venture, I guess, people still travel a lot more than they do today. And by that I mean not just go somewhere and then come back to their hometown or what have you, but actually moved and went places, right? I mean, say you lived here, right? And it was too cold. You could have just walked here if you wanted to. Why not? Right? Maybe gotten on a boat over here and then went over here. Why not? Right? You didn't need a passport. There was no borders. If you just wanted to go, you went. Right? And if that was the case, then why wouldn't people have gone, right? If you didn't have all these things stopping you from going somewhere, right? You need to get your little slave book. You need to have enough money. You need to pay someone to take you here or there, so on and so forth, right? But to get money, because we no longer make money, even though we say we do, you had to basically be a slave to somebody else to be able to then pay someone to take you someplace, right? It wasn't thus back then, right? There was no centralized currency like the way we have today. You could have just, and you still can, you just don't know it. But you still can just work things off. Offer people that sort of payment for whatever. And if they refuse, well, then that's on them, isn't it? Anyway, long fucking story short. If you want to go, if you don't like where you are for whatever reason, because this or that color dictates, when you can breathe air freely, when you can't, when you can see your friends, when you can't, right? If you don't like being here because no one thinks like you, they think you're weird, and they think government is God, and they obey like the sheep that they are, and you just can't find anyone you connect with, right? Well, why don't you get up and leave? Go somewhere else. Especially if you live in these red, white, and blue areas, right? Where dollar or the pound is king, basically. And you could go to some of these, a little bit more yellow or green areas where your money, will take you a lot further. Why not just get up and leave? Like, what's keeping you there? Your family that doesn't understand you? Your old folks that, don't have that much left? Maybe we're supposed to go places. And the people that stay put all the damn time, maybe they're the ones who are wrong. Forget about all this loyalty, patriotism, nationalism, all these ideologies you were brainwashed with that have nothing to do with who you actually are. They're not organic, they're not grassroots, they're dictated from above, depending on what the color is that rules where you're at. Now, maybe you love everyone that lives nearby, and you're just connected, you have a great community, you all understand each other. Okay, that's cool, that's great. But that's 99.9% of the world isn't like that. Not in my experience. So what loyalty do you have to this piece of the earth that someone said, is yours? And yet you have to beg and pay to have a piece of paper that says that you get to do a few things in this little area, land that you supposedly own, just not everything else that you may want to. You get some certain privileges in your little, cell, literally. Or all these brainwashed people telling you, you got to stand and fight. What are we fighting for? Well, we're fighting against the masks. We're fighting to keep our guns. We're fighting for, transgender rights. We're fighting for... No one fucking agrees what they're fighting for. There's no agreement. What kind of a nation are you? You think you're a nation just because you speak the same language? Yeah, but these people speak the same language. These people here speak the same language, right? Are they all a nation? What is it that unites you, right? What is it? Your corporate identity? Your overlords? And do you really speak the same language? I mean, kinda. People over here, they talk completely different to the people over here. Let's not even talk about the people over here and how many different languages they speak, or variations of the same language, right? And this whole idea that you have to stay behind and fight, be a patriot, defend your nation. From what? From whom? None of these people even agree on what the danger is. And if they do, it's like one or two over here, 15 of them up here, a couple down here, and they all meet on Facebook and commiserate. That's all that they do. So, to the people that are happy where they are, or they're complacent, or they're too lazy, or they're just willing to do anything that anybody tells them, so long as they don't boil you too fast, you'll accept whatever they give to you, whatever they make you do. Hey, do you, baby? Do whatever you want to do. But to those of you who don't seem to be able to relate to the people around you, and wherever you go, the people are, well, sheep, zombies, call them whatever you want to call them. They think you're weird, different. They don't relate to you in any way, shape, or form, really. Other than, well, this is the same flag that we all wave. We kind of speak the same language. This is our king. These are the laws that we abide by. Blah, 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 right? Why are you there? Especially people here, the UK, and maybe Australia. Like, you guys have, and the States, have so many resources. Canada, you have so much money that you don't even know what to do with it, right? You could move here to Ecuador, stay out of my fucking neighborhood, right? And where minimum wage is, I don't know, like something like $400 a month, right? Meaning that people get by on $400 a month. I'm not saying that you would be happy doing that, but maybe you could. But then again, you're coming from the West. You have a higher IQ, supposedly, right? You're one of the advanced Western civilization nations, right? You're one of the chosen ones. You're better, right, than most people all over the world. Let's not kid ourselves. That's the understanding. That is the ideology. And there's some truth to that, no doubt about it. If only because you're more fortunate. Fair enough. But, you got a lot of purchasing power. But there you are, spending your money on bullshit. Like, why do you even own a TV? Why do you pay for the bullshit that comes through that thing? And how much money are you paying for all of that, right? In 10 years of paying for, high-speed internet, cable TV, all the pay-per-view events you get, porn, whatever it may be, right? 10 years of doing that is probably a lifetime of food, clothing, and shelter over here. I'm not even kidding, right? And then, but you have so much more money than that, right? What are you doing with it? Would it really be that difficult to save 40, 50 grand? Go somewhere here if that's where you want to go? Or somewhere here maybe? Or somewhere here. Quote unquote, buy a whole bunch of land and do your thing, right? How difficult would it be for you to get a gig, create a gig, as so many different people are, right? Online, where you're bringing in even a measly $800 a month, right? That's twice the minimum wage of Ecuador. Right off the bat, you are the 1% in a country like Ecuador. Okay, so you may not have your fancy big screen TV. You may not be able to drive the latest car that you want to drive. You may not be able to go clothes shopping. If that's what you do on the regular, I mean, you're probably not even on this channel, right? How many pairs of shoes do you own? I mean, I've seen these people's closets, in passing here online, there's some mentally ill people who just like buy shoes, and these pairs of shoes go from like $100 to sometimes $400 or $500, right? Depending on how, I don't know, depending on what, I don't know. But there are people who have, as much in their invested in their shoe collection as we do in land. You know what I mean? More even. Count up the packs of cigarettes you smoked last year. How much one of them cost, and you're gonna find that those of you that smoke heavily, right? Shit, count up all the beers and drinks you got at the bar. People go out on the weekend and spend a couple $100 at the bar, right? Sometimes more. Friday, Saturday, $200, $300, $400 gone. A year of weekends, and you could be a quote unquote landowner in Ecuador. You could have your own animals, right? A year of smoking ciggies, you got a nice house, right? Throw in 5 years of, high-speed internet, cable TV, and everything else that comes with that. And you could have a half-decent car, too. And then you don't have to deal with all the bullshit that's making you depressed anyway, living in some big city somewhere in the first world or something like that, right? Even those of you that don't do any of these things, you could easily save tens of thousands of dollars in a short few years. I'm convinced you could do that by getting rid of some of these addictions that you have, right? TV, cola, whatever the fuck it may be. Clothes, the latest gadgets, all this other bullshit that you don't need, really. 5 years of not even anything approximating asceticism, okay? I'm not even talking about that. Just being reasonable and good with your money, saving it, right? You want to put it in something, gold or silver for the time being, right? And then selling that and selling everything you own, all this bullshit that you own that you don't need. I bet you most of you listening to me right now could easily scrounge up 50 grand. Some of you a lot more. Do you know what you can do with that kind of money somewhere else? Then have your little, you know, digital gig, whatever the hell it may be. Even a stupid YouTube channel that doesn't get that many views, you're going to be making more money than minimum wage in most of these countries in the world. With the little rinky dinky channel like mine that doesn't even get a lot of views. Huh. And then you get to that spot, wherever it may be, and find a niche that people aren't really engaged in. Find something or realize that there is something that those people there need, right? I don't know what. Maybe it's CBD oil. Maybe it's fancy fucking soap. Maybe it's goat meat, right? If everybody around here has cows, goat meat and goat milk, you charge a premium for. Maybe go somewhere where there are a lot of old Saabs or something, and you're a Saab mechanic. Don't those motherfuckers make a killing? Right? Whatever the niche may be, whatever you may be good at, find a place where they need that. or something that you're willing to do that most people in that area aren't willing to do, but would like someone to be able to do that for them. Fuck it. Move to somewhere, anywhere where there's like an expat community and go tend rich people's gardens until you figure some other shit out. I know a lot of people out there are complacent and I won't even say happy, but they're fine with what's going on so long as somebody tells them what to do, how to do it, and at the end of the day, they cut them a check or whatever. They put some money in their account. And that's how they want to live. Oh, I got to bend over and let you stick me with the needle just so that I can have my, brand new iPhone, be able to go to the movies and spend 8 hours watching cable TV every night. If that's all I got to do to get these fixes, hey, I'm quote unquote happy because Soma. If that's what you're into, what the fuck are you doing here, right? But for a lot of you who are frustrated, scared, upset, you want something different. It's so easy, especially if you speak English, right? Go to another country and teach all these people that want to learn English or do it remotely over the internet. $10 an hour doing that, for example, in a country like Ecuador where people get 20 a day? You kidding me? For all of you that are awake, somewhat awake, kind of have a grasp of what's really going on, right? I'm not expecting you to be able to explain to me all these colors and why, right? But just the simple fact that you're looking at this and questioning, well, hey, you're so far ahead of the average person on the planet, right? If you don't like where you are because the COVID is pressing down on your neck and you can't breathe. Let me take one last final sip of my coffee. Stop fucking complaining. Get rid of your addictions. Put away some ducats and leave. Take a chance. Roll the dice. And I guarantee you, if you really put your mind to it, even if you fail to do exactly that which you set out to do, you're going to be just fine. You're going to survive just fine. And it's going to be one amazing fucking adventure. Trust me. And it may take 5, 10, however many years. One day you'll get to a place, or maybe it's going to be a string of different places over a span of 20 years. But you're going to get to that place that's going to be great or good enough. Definitely better than where you are right now, if only for the time being. But once you will have uprooted yourself and uprooted yourself and realize that it's not that difficult. All this shit that you've been told that Latin America's scary. Oh, no, 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 no. Don't go over there. Those savages will eat you. Man, the scariest place I ever lived in was Chicago, Illinois. And over there, people were talking about how the Bloods and the Crips on the West Coast, how vicious and disgusting and fucked up they are, how dangerous it is over there, right? So then I moved to Oakland and I was like, what? Man, this place ain't got shit on Chicago. What were these people talking about, right? And living in both, either, you always heard Latin America. Scary. So then I moved there and my God. I mean, it's like child's play compared to Chicago or Oakland. Obviously, it also depends on where exactly you are, but I mean, the world is so fucking huge. You could even go from Chicago to Bumblefuck, Wyoming, and experience the same thing, right? But this, you're always told, like, don't go anywhere, Johnny. Lock your doors, right? Draw your curtains. Don't go outside. Cause there's terrorists in trucks running people down. There's terrorists exploding bombs. Now it's the invisible enemy. You can't even breathe freely anymore. Get the fuck out of here, man. Go outside. Okay? Go outside. Walk somewhere. And keep fucking walking till you get to some place that's better than where you are right now. And once you will have done that, send me a fucking thank you note, right? Stop being a fucking coward. And if you don't like where you are, leave. Because if you can't change the people around you, just change the people around you. Okay, rant over. Thanks for listening.